Hello there and welcome. This is the Dart Zone Pro MK-1.2. The box looks great. Let's jump right in. Included in the box is the blaster itself, 30 half-length bamboo 2.0 darts, the instructions, the stock, the half-length magazine adapter, two 15-round half-length magazines, eye protection, two O-rings, the quick-release pin, an extra spring, a muzzle device, and two sight pieces. Like its predecessor, the 1.2 does not come fully assembled. To install the quick-release pin, simply line up the holes and push. Like I mentioned before, this blaster does come with two springs, a high-powered spring and a low-powered spring. To swap between springs, you first take out these four screws. Then you take out this single set screw right here. Now that all the screws are removed, all you need to do is take this little bit right here, turn it counterclockwise. It'll pop out and you'll see the spring right there. You pull it out, then simply install the other spring. Then we put the spring cap back on and then just screw it all back together. All right, so here is the MK-1.2 in its completed form. Up on the top, you have a full Picatinny style rail, two sight pieces. This back one has adjustable elevation. You have a rail on the right and a rail on the left. The safety is right here. You have your full-length magazine or adapter release right here, like the other Dart Zone blasters. Both the back and front grips are rubberized. They feel very comfortable. Up front, we have a muzzle. This is compatible with the Nexus Pro, Conquest Pro, most of the blasters in that space. Right here, you have the quick-release pin, and then on the right and the left, you have these two other pins. Unscrewing both of these and taking this out will allow you to take the entire barrel off, and it'll give you much better access to this area in case of a jam. Now this back here is of course the stock, and this is a very interesting stock because first off, if you go over to the left side of the blaster, there's this button right here, you hold that down, and assuming the stock is fully extended, you can then hook it to the side of the blaster and it becomes a folding stock similar to like the old Spectre stock. Now the other interesting thing about this stock is it's a buffer tube stock in one sense, but then it is also a end strike stock. So when you take the entire thing off, you can put other end strike stocks on this blaster, but if you just take off the back portion, you can put other buffer tube stocks on this blaster. Now in theory, this stock would be really great. The length is good, the rubber on the back is really comfortable, it folds, it looks really great, but unfortunately, due to having so many, and I mean so many movable parts on this thing, it ended up being a really weak and, dare I say, cheap feeling stock. When I shoulder it, I can feel it just creaking and moving. It's really unpleasant. With the heavy spring, this blaster has such a stout prime, I don't feel comfortable priming it off this stock, which is hilarious because a blaster like this really benefits from a stock. Now, while this stock might be okay on something like a Strife, for a blaster like this, especially the flagship Dart Zone Pro blaster of the year, to come with a stock that feels worse than the one on the $50 Nexus Pro is just really bizarre. And another point, if you do want to use this on something like a Strife, you can't really utilize the folding feature because there's a piece right here that the stock connects with on the blaster that the Strife does not have. So while the Spectre stock can work by itself, this relies on the 1.2 to lock. So far, that is my most massive critique. Luckily, because this blaster is N-Strike stock compatible, not only can you stick your favorite N-Strike stock on this, but also the recent Tomcat stock is actually a very good stock for this blaster. It is way more secure. I'm putting quite a bit of weight on it right now. It doesn't make those creaking noises. This stock is actually really great. Before we fire it, on a more positive note, they completely eradicated that nasty slop prime that the Nexus Pro, Aeon Pro, 1.1, 1.0, all those blasters featured this prime that was very sloppy to accommodate the full-length darts. While this blaster can still utilize full-length darts, the slop is no longer present. And that is definitely an upgrade. That makes me very happy. Firing is exactly what you'd expect. You prime it back, you stick your magazine in, then you prime it forward. Oh my goodness. It's so powerful. Right now I have the heavy spring in here and the prime is so heavy, but it hits incredibly hard. Now let's take the MK-1.2 outside and see what it's fully capable of. Here we are outside with the MK-1.2. First, we're going to put over 5 Bamboo 2.0s, the darts this includes, and then we're going to put over 5 Max Ruby darts. 215. Duplicate 215. Duplicate 215. 216. Duplicate 216. Absolutely incredible performance. No other Dart Zone Pro blaster hits this hard. Now on to the 5 ruby darts. 201. 199. 193. 198. 204. Even with the max ruby darts, we're still getting around 200 FPS. Phenomenal performance coming out of this thing. Now with our remaining Bamboo 2.0 darts, let's take some shots down range. Oh my gosh. I think we have one more. Every shot fired remarkably straight. That performance is nothing but impressive. If you want lower performance with this thing, the other spring it includes gets around 110 feet per second. So if you want to decrease your performance, that's definitely the way to go, and you're capable of doing that out of the box. So what are my final thoughts on the Dart Zone Pro Mark 1.2? Is the 1.2 a bad blaster? While not perfect, absolutely not. Now the most disappointing thing about this blaster is the stock. The stock really isn't usable with the blaster like this. It's too wobbly, it's too insecure. I don't trust it. The great thing is you can swap it out for any N-Strike stock, so you can really customize it to your liking. A lot of people reported jams with this blaster, especially while firing quickly. I don't know if they changed anything. I bought this one off Amazon and I've had no issues. But even then, is this blaster worth it? I personally have enjoyed it much more than the Nexus Pro. It hits much harder out of the box. I really like that they got rid of the prime slop. The rubberized grips are really nice. Now the Nexus Pro is still a really great option for the price and the performance you get out of that thing. It's still fantastic, but the 1.2 is far from a bad blaster. I really like it. Thank you very much for watching. I would love to hear your thoughts on this thing, and happy nerfing.